Here's the MoxieBox Art Museum, where you can find all of the Western world's most famous art. The first time you get on, a random large museum will be displayed. There's a timeline in the results. The red dot corresponds to the highest artwork in the list. Here I've selected a Cezanne that is at the Met. Click on the W icon for each work to see an article on that particular painting. If you click on the image, it will expand to an enlargement. On some works, there will be information as to where the painting is located in the museum. Clicking on the arrow on the right will display one enlargement of each image in the list. Clicking the big Clear All button clears all the data and allows you to start with a fresh screen. In the Artist field, you can type in an artist's last name. Here I put in Picasso, and I get the results, 11 works of his in a list. Clicking the W icon to the right of his name will result in a Wikipedia article on that artist. Again, clicking a W next to the work results in an article on that work. You can click List All to get a list of all 111 artists in the database. Here's a list of 10 Marc Chagall's. Again, notice the timeline at the top and how it puts all the works in perspective. In the Style section, click List All to see a list of all the different art movements included in the database. Here I've clicked Impressionism, and it resulted in a list of 107 famous Impressionistic works. Again, clicking Clear All refreshes the screen entirely. Clicking List All in the Works section results in a list of all 1,053 pieces of art in the database. Clicking Show All Works gives you a full entry with image for each of those works. Scrolling through over 1,000 of the most famous works in Western art. Clicking Top 25 Artists display a list of the 25 most famous artists. Clicking Top 3 of Artists displays only the top 3 most famous works from that artist. Here we are combining filters showing the top 3 most famous works from only the top 25 most famous artists, resulting in a list of just the most famous works in the world. Clicking Top 50 Works will result in a list of the most famous 50 works of all time. Click on the little heart icon to the bottom right to add that artwork to your own personal favorites list. Here, I've added 3 works of art to add to my own personal favorites list. Clicking on Your Favorites will result in showing those works. You can search by museum. Here, I'm clicking the List All button to see a list of all 281 museums in the database, finding the Guggenheim Museum, and getting a list of all 23 famous works in the Guggenheim. Or you can type in a museum. Here, putting in Los Angeles to find out what's in the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. There are 6 famous works displayed. Adding an additional filter of Top 3 of Artists shows you the best of the best. You can also search by city. Here, I'm clicking on Paris in the City section and Impressionism in the Style section to find out where is all the famous Impressionistic works in Paris. Or you can search by state. Here, I'm finding out the 41 most famous works of art in the state of California. Now, I'm going to add an additional filter of Expressionism to find out where in California is the most famous works of Expressionistic art. It turns out there are 6. Or you can even search by a whole country. Here, I've chosen the Netherlands to find a list of the 25 most famous art in the Netherlands. I can narrow this list down by choosing an additional filter of Top 50 Art of All Time. What results is just the 4 most famous pieces of art in the Netherlands.